There we are. We are now joined by Austin Dillon, driver of the number 3 Chevrolet for Richard Childress Racing. We're going to go straight to questions, and our first question for Austin is going to come from Jeff Gluck. Go ahead with your question, Jeff.
Austin, I know you're potentially a dark horse to make a run in this thing. So other than you, who do you think is a dark horse or a surprise team that people should watch to go far in the playoffs?
I think it's a good question. You got the regular suspects that have been pretty solid all year. Kurt Busch is one of those guys that can get streaky also, you know what I mean? And as far as starting with no bonus points and making a run, I also believe that, the Stewart-Haas cars have had speed at certain tracks, and, Boyer is good at short tracks. So I think that's another one that could, the first round obviously is the first one you want to get through. There's some good competition out there. So any of those guys in Stewart-Haas or possibly Kurt, I feel like is another good one, some experience.
Cool, thank you.
Next question will come from Alex Andreev. Go ahead with your question, Alex.
Hey, Austin, thank you for your time. I'm just curious, as a driver that tested positive for COVID-19, Steve Phelps said that in regards to points and not being allowed any points in playoffs is going to continue into playoffs. And I'm wondering how you feel about that. Do you feel like that's a fair practice as someone who has already tested positive and had to suffer from that?
Yeah. I mean, I'm kind of glad it happened in the regular season and we had to win. Some of these guys I feel like he's definitely going to have to be very careful on the moves they make over the next couple of weeks. You don't want to get it and be taken out of the points because of that.
Our next question will come from John Newby. Go ahead with the question, John.
Thanks, sir. So obviously getting a win is going to be critical, and it'll help you stay alive in the playoff hunt, but how much would it mean to get it done in Junior Johnson throwback scheme?
Oh, man, it literally just made me smile because this Junior Johnson car means so much to me. It's a beautiful car. I grew up going to school with Junior's kids, and Junior actually came to our school and spoke to us when I was like in middle school. And, he was just a hero to me. And when he came and spoke to us, he kind of talked to me and because he knew my grandfather, obviously, and it was really nice and always just, great people to be around. And my mom and Lisa Johnson are very close friends. They talk all the time. And to do this throwback for Junior is very special. My grandfather's pumped about it. It's a beautiful car. And Darlington would be a great place. That would be a third crown jewel too. So that would be special.
Perfect. Thank you.
Next question will come from Dustin Long. Go ahead with your question, Dustin.
Thank you. Austin, obviously when people turn a significant age, 30 in this case for you, there can be the point of reflection, of looking back at what they've done. Obviously, you're still a young guy, but you're not a kid in the sport compared to a lot of other people. And certainly what you've had, as you noted, you've had your 2 crown jewel wins. But as you reach this age and look at your point in the career, does there get to be, I don't know if there's more pressure or more a need to immediacy to have greater success? And how do you look at what you've done and how much more is weighing on your shoulder as you reach this age threshold? And I'm sure you've certainly met some goals, but haven't met all the goals that you've wanted at this point in your career.
Well, yeah, I think it's more about seizing every opportunity you get. You don't know what could be your last. Everybody is fighting for their job every day. It doesn't matter how many wins you got. Something could come up and change sponsorship-wise or ownership-wise. You just never know these days. So you just want to seize these opportunities. We're in the playoffs again, and there's another opportunity to become the first to win all 3 championships that we've got. There's 16 guys that have this opportunity, and we're one of them. So you want to take advantage of those opportunities and go out there and perform. You can, and you want to do it consistently. So, yeah, just doing everything you can to take advantage of the moment, I think is big. Live in the moment and have fun doing it. And I do feel like I think the prime age, and my dirt crew chief has always said this, the prime age for racing is like 35 plus, and you see it from Harvick and Denny Hamlin. So I feel like you gain so much knowledge during that time frame, and I feel like I'm still gaining knowledge, and your family situation changes. I've got my first kid now, and momentum has been good, and I just feel like I'm in a good spot, and I think it can just keep going that way with the direction I'm headed.
Our next question is going to come from Mark Garrow. Go ahead with the question, Mark.
Thank you. Austin, how do you answer the folks that you've got high expectations for the playoffs? There's a lot of people that are kind of dismissing your team. What do you tell them? Why do you tell them, like, don't sleep on me? You better watch out for us?
I love being dismissed. I think it's great. I've kind of always been that way. I feel like maybe not that way in the trucks or Xfinity at the end of those runs, but in the Cup Series, it's been a little bit of that. So, and I feel like that's what kind of propels us, and then we sneak up on people. I was very close to making it to the third round a couple years back in the playoffs. I missed it by 1 point to Denny Hamlin. That would have transferred us on, and we missed it at Talladega by 1. So I know from that experience that every point matters, and we just need to go out there and do our job these first 3 races. It's good races for us. But the stages, the way they play out, you got to get points. So we're going to be very aggressive to getting those points and hopefully mess up a lot of brackets.
Thank you.
Our next question is going to come from Lee Spencer. Go ahead with the question, Lee.
Thank you. Hope you and the family are doing well right now. Germain Racing put out a statement on Monday, I believe it was, that Bob Germain is exploring conversations for a potential sale. Have you talked to Ty yet about that? And is there a possibility that RCR could expand and include your brother in the fold in case something was to happen at Germain Racing?
I actually haven't talked to my brother about it. Spoke to my grandfather a little bit about it. I think all kinds of opportunities are out there right now. There's a lot going on in the sport. As you can tell, it's silly season. So, but I've tried to keep up with what's going on out there. But right now, I'm really focused on the playoffs and because that's my job is to go out there. So we've been on the simulator Monday. I'm going back this afternoon. But as far as everything else going on, I'm just happy that we got 3 team and all of our sponsors, in a good place right now. So we're pumped about next season, but focused on this season with the playoffs that are up front.
Good luck with the postseason, Austin.
Thank you.
Our next question is going to come from Scott Chansey. Go ahead with the question, Scott.
Austin, how does Darlington suit your racing style?
Well, I think long races in the past have fit my racing style. Plenty of time to make the car better. Being a long race, 500, all my wins have come 500 miles or more. So I believe that's right. Yeah. So, I think it's a good one for us. We like the long distance races and it's a place that falls off. Our RCR has always been known for long run speed. Short run speed has something that we've struggled with, but we're trying to change. But it's nice that we're going to a place that long run speed matters a bit.
Our next question will come from Pete Iacobelli. Go ahead with the question, Pete.
Austin, are you feeling okay? Have you had any effects since testing positive for COVID? And in a crazy way, do you almost feel like you have an advantage because you've already tested positive for the disease and may not be able to get it again? Who knows? Yeah,
who knows, truthfully. You still got to be safe and practice everything that we've been practicing all year, safe social distancing and wearing a mask. It does feel good to have had it and know what it's like, and hopefully never experience it again. It's hopefully done, or antibodies obviously in me. But yeah, it feels a little better than some of those guys in the playoffs that have to worry about it more, I think, than I do. But yeah, no, I'm not experiencing any kind of. I feel great. I've been riding a road bike, working out. I had a massive pickleball game with my dad, and I beat him. That was pretty nice. It went pretty deep there. I sweated a lot right before the Daytona race. And it was hot down there. So yeah, I'm an active person, love to get out and play sports. So I feel good and prepared for what's ahead.
Our next question is going to come from Dustin Albino. Go ahead with the question, Dustin.
Yeah, Austin, obviously as a team you want to have both cars in the playoffs, but is it almost an advantage only to have one in the playoffs and all the resources behind you?
Yeah, you definitely want both. It's just good for the company when you have both cars in, and Reddick's been very fast. But yeah, I feel like in the past I've been on both sides of this deal where you're in or you're out, and the focus flips to whoever's in. And it feels good to have all the focus here at RCR. We've got some great teammates and great employees here that can do all they can to put effort into each car we take in the playoffs. And I'm sure Tyler and Randall, I've already asked Tyler for his notes after Darlington. We've worked together all year pretty great. So I think it's a good thing for us, but we'd love to have both in the playoffs.
Cool, Austin. Thanks for your time.
Our next question is coming from Jeff Megley at Jetty. Go ahead with the question, Jeff.
Good afternoon, Austin. Thank you for joining us. You've been to the playoffs twice thus far. This will be your third trip. Where do you think you're better prepared this time around, and what's going to be the biggest factor in finally breaking that round of 16 threshold?
Is this my third or fourth trip?
Third, I believe.
I feel like it's my fourth because I went on a one Daytona. I made it. I pointed my way in, and the 600. This should be my fourth.
Okay.
Sorry,
yeah. No, it's totally fine. Totally fine.
But you're right. The biggest thing is making it a couple rounds further. So, I want to survive in advance. Take the experiences from the ones past. I think the biggest thing I've learned is, the points matter. When you're sitting at the end of these stages or at the end of the race, when you have a point right in front of you, you got to do what it takes to get that point. You can't ride. You got to use the front bumper to get it. I mean, however, you got to get it. Strategy is also another key, and you try and lean on the strategy. We've been very good on strategy this year to be able to score points. So we'll use some of that, and also I think you got to be defensive at times when you're struggling, because there's going to be times when the car's not handling right, and you got to hold up the guys out back and be good in the mirror. I mean, there's guys that are professionals at it. Joey and Brad are very good at holding track position when their car is struggling, and that puts them in a better spot when the caution comes out. If they've held a couple more spots and then their pit crew comes and picks them up a position, with one adjustment, their car is able to win, you know what I mean, or a little cleaner air. And so knowing that there's going to be times when you're struggling, how you handle those, and taking every position you can take when a point is on the line.
This is the fourth trip, by the way. So thank you, Austin, no matter if it's third or fourth. So, no, good luck.
Thanks.
Our next question is going to come from Michael Shelton. Go ahead with your question, Michael.
Thank you very much. Well, Austin, when you did win your crown jewels and make the playoffs in 2017 and 18, Justin Alexander was your crew chief. Obviously, last season, RCR took a chance, had Danny Stockman, the man who led you to your Xfinity and Truck Series titles, as your crew chief, but unfortunately didn't yield the same results. Now Justin Alexander is back with you this time around. So I just wondered, how much does his return to the pit box have on your effect in making the playoffs again this season? How much of a difference has it made?
Well, it's just been good for the entire organization, the team. Justin, to go through what he had to go through last year, being switched off our team, and the way he handled it was just so professional. And I think also when he came back, I just committed to him, my full attention each and every week. And he has delivered that back and more. And I think I've done the same for each other. And we just have a different respect for each other this time around. And he's always been able to talk to me in a different way that challenges me to be better over the radio. It doesn't get me frustrated or fired up, and I don't lose my focus. He's all about the focus and maximizing our day. And I also feel like the spotter that we've got this year, Brandon Benesh, has been a big help also. And those three, my mom, she's following us all the time, and she listens to the radio, and she's like, you are very fortunate, because these guys are on a different level right now, the way they communicate on Channel 2. She said she's never heard anything like it through my Cup career. And that's good. They're on a good wavelength together and really focused on what we're doing and how to make our cars better and how to make me better and to get the best of the three car.
Thank you very much. Good luck to you this weekend in the playoffs.
Thank you.
Our next question is going to come from Davey Segal. Go ahead with your question, Davey.
Thanks, Matt. Austin, you touched on your mindset, how you kind of like people counting you out, being the underdog. With that being said, though, what are your guys' realistic expectations for these playoffs in particular, knowing how dominant the 4, the 11, and some of the other big guys have been this season?
Well, the 4 and 11 are the two guys that everyone has circled, and I feel like they're pretty much in the Final Four at Homestead at this point with their points position. Now, granted, anything can happen with some of these lineups that NASCAR's created in the schedule for the playoffs. There's some places that a lot of destruction, chaos goes on. But I would say those 2 spots of the 4 are locked up when it comes to Denny and Harvick. Now, the 2 other spots out there that we have circled that we need to take. That's what I'm focused on, is knowing that there's 2 spots available, I feel like, for the championship, and we have to chip away at it each and every week, treat it one race at a time, kind of the Bill Belichick attitude of, maximize each week and then survive in advance, and try and win a race, win a race when it counts. When you get down to the end and there's guys that have more bonus points, the only thing to do is win. We were able to win this year. We made a good call at the right time, and we had the speed to be able to maintain it. In years past, I would say we probably wouldn't have had the speed to be able to maintain at 1.5 miles, but this year we do. And that's what's exciting, is anything can happen with the right moves made.
Thanks. And just so you know, I don't want you to end up in Miami for the championship. It's at Phoenix this year. I mess up too.
That's right. I had a good run at Miami, so I kind of wish it was there, but we'll go to Phoenix anyways.
10-4. Thank you.
Our next question will come from Peter Strada. Go ahead with your question, Peter.
Yes, Austin, we saw the RCR Command Center in detail after your big win in Texas. They gave you the winning call. What's the balance in making those pivotal calls between Justin on the pit box versus the team back and welcome?
Yeah, I think Justin truthfully makes the call, and I would give him credit for the win at Texas. I think what the War Room has done has just give us another option and more of an eye in the sky to relay information that Justin might not be able to process fast enough. The ability to process information fast is key to success, and those guys in the War Room can be focused on other information that Justin can't see, so they can relay that to him, and him trusting him is another part of that. But I do feel like at Texas, myself and him kind of made the call, and then with help from our data showing that this was available and it's the smartest route to go as far as keeping track position, it was the right decision to make. So we'll definitely use our War Room. We'll definitely use our strategy tools to help us gain as many points as possible and hopefully put us in a situation where we can win again.
Our next question will come from Eric Smith. Go ahead with the question, Eric.
Yeah, thank you. Austin, speaking of the team aspect, you guys have 8 of the 10 playoff tracks this year you've already been to coming into the playoffs. And without practice, how much do you rely on your notes from those other 8 races? And do you think that's an advantage for a team like RCR, that some of these bigger teams don't have that practice advantage?
I think it's been good for us, not having to practice. I think it's good for me. I don't overthink things and talk about it all night with myself. I just go. We make a decision after we run our simulation, and we go from there. It's a little less stressful when you've got practice and all kinds of adjustments to worry about. It kind of simplifies things and makes you go with what works, and then you adjust it throughout the race. So I don't know if it's an advantage. I feel like this year's been good for us, but I feel like it's also been good because we've had faster race cars than in years past. So maybe it's been good. I don't know. Sometimes you want practice, sometimes you don't. But I feel confident with the way we're doing it right now.
Thanks, man. Good luck this weekend.
Our next question will come from Marty Chikala. Go ahead with your question, Marty.
Thanks, Matt. Austin, congratulations on making the playoffs this year. Kind of following up on an earlier question, I know Tyler Reddick, he's a rookie, and he's had a great year. Is it kind of surprising that he didn't make the playoffs this year via points?
Not surprising. I think for him, he's always wants as much as he can. He's a champion. He's done a great job this year, found a lot of speed at different tracks. But as a rookie, man, it's tough. I mean, if you don't get a win like Cole or myself did, it's tough to point your way in. And just a couple places that he probably can go back and look at that would change something he would have done, or things that happened. Pocono, he had something go wrong with power steering. That's a lot of points right there. Could have put him in a different situation. But, I think he has done an amazing job all year as a rookie, and I think he'll be in the playoffs for years to come. So it's one of those things that he's probably disappointed at, but I think everybody knows that he's got the speed and the pace to win races and be in the playoffs and a real contender for years to come.
Thanks for your time, Austin. Good luck to you this weekend.
Thank you.
Our next question is going to come from Bob Pockris. Go ahead with the question, Bob.
Yeah, Austin, is it more important for you to win a race in these last 10 races or advance through to the championship?
I would say, I would love to win and advance to the championship. So, getting a win at the right time to advance in the championship would be, I think, the goal. You get to you survive and advance, and then you come down where you have to win and you make it happen. I think that's what some of the great guys have done. Kevin Harvick has shown an uncanny ability to be able to win when he needs one. That's where you want to get to, is where you're confident enough where you can go and take a victory. But a trophy is always good. I'd love to win another trophy in the last 10. So let's just go with trophy.
Our next question is going to come from Rebecca Cottingham. Go ahead with the question, Rebecca.
Hi, Austin. This is Rebecca Cottingham from Legacy Makers Sports Network. Do you have a favorite track that you're looking forward to in the chase? I know you talked about, Darlington's cars and one of your favorites with the history, but do you have a favorite track that you're looking forward to?
Yeah, so Richmond is circled right now. Richmond is the place. I had 2 sixth-place finishes a year ago, I believe, or something like that. We've had some good runs there, and we've had something that just hits for me that's good, and I feel like we had speed to finish better than 6th. Things just didn't play out our way with strategy. So Richmond is circled right now on my list, and that's as far as I really would go. Vegas is another one. So those are in the first 6, Vegas. Well, heck, I'll just say all the ones that I feel like we could win at. Richmond, Vegas, Martinsville, Texas, obviously. And then, yeah, those are my favorite tracks circled right now that I feel like, being honest about speed and where our setups have been in the past, that those are good places for us.
Thank you. Best of luck this weekend.
Our final question is going to come from Tucker White. Go ahead with your question, Tucker.
Thank you. Austin, coming up, entering your rookie season back in 2014, I believe you were coming off a championship in the Xfinity Series, and you're pretty dominant that season despite not winning a race. And your rookie season, you kind of fell flat. Then, likewise, Tyler Reddick was coming off back-to-back championships in the Xfinity Series and wasn't the one who made the playoffs, while Cole Custer was the rookie from this class who did. And that was just a circumstance where pieces fell into place for him. So what kind of learning curve is there, drivers going from either the Xfinity or Truck Series to the Cup Series?
Well, it's the number one automotive racing series in the world, in my opinion. It's the hardest one to win in. You got multiple winners that are great at what they do. Everybody that's gotten to this point has won and done something that has gotten them to here. I think every level in the sport you go to, from trucks to Xfinity to Cup, there's another level you have to reach as a driver to step up your game. And I felt like, for me, the formula was Rookie of the Year in the Truck Series and win a championship in the Truck Series. Then it was Rookie of the Year in the Xfinity Series and win a championship in the Xfinity Series. I get to the Cup Series, and I was hoping that it would be the same way, win a Rookie of the Year and go win a championship the next. But it's a different level, and I've learned that over the last couple of years. We made the playoffs, and the playoffs are a huge feat when you're in the Cup Series. You look at the Xfinity Series, in my opinion, there's if you don't finish in the top 10, you're struggling every week, and I would even go up to 8th. Past that, it's not what the Cup Series is, where you're fighting all the way back to 22nd, 23rd with guys that have won in the Xfinity Series, 24th maybe. But they're just a different level of competition, and that's what it is. And it takes a lot. I mean, you could have a good crew, good team, good car, good pit crew, and still not win. You have the fastest car and still not win. Every week's just a challenge. So learning, I think the learning process from a rookie to the next year is big. That's why we get so excited about rookies that come in and finish well early on in their career, because you hope that the only way forward is up, because they're knocking some great finishes out their first year. They're probably going to be fine.
Thank you.
Well, Austin,
by the way, I
thanks
like
for-
your mask.
Thank you.
Good stuff. Well played. And Austin, good luck this weekend at Darlington, and good luck throughout the NASCAR Cup Series playoffs, brother.
Thank you.